sports. Up next, we'll see a man who's been in charge for more than a decade. Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions as they take on Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. So with that, let's get out to the East Bay in Oakland, California. On the call, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, as the 2019 regular season starts speeding toward a conclusion, not too many games remain to be played here in Oakland, California. The pregame festivities here in Oakland have to be seen to be believed. This crowd in silver and black, they are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Detroit Lions. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories.
And they had it easy last week. They jumped out to an early lead and then put it on cruise control from there.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they're hitting their stride of late. Winners of 3 of their last 4. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in week 9? This one taken just inside the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Derek Carr is set and ready to roll as he leads the Raiders out onto the field. Carr in his 6th season, 28 years of age, former second-round pick back in 2014. And a lot of people feel this is a critical season for Derek Carr as a Raider. Remember, there were whispers that the Raiders might be in the market for a QB in the draft, even contemplating maybe making a run at Kyler Murray. But in the end, they stood pat with Derek Carr, hoping to try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashaan Melvin, and he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. I'm not sure exactly what they had planned for play number 1 from scrimmage, but I can guarantee it wasn't that interception.
No doubt about that one, because in their daydream, this was going to be a dream play to get things started. Instead, it turned into a nightmare for them.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Stafford with a give. This is Riddick. Just a couple on the ground there. That's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender is making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So on 4th down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. Let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
A look now at the Oakland offense.
And there's offensive tackle Trent Brown, signed away from New England in the offseason on a 4-year, $66 million deal to protect his new quarterback in Oakland, Derek Carr. No stranger to the Bay Area. First 3 years in the league were with San Francisco as a 49er. He can play left or right tackle.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Carr going to throw. Got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Like Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams came to the Raiders in March. Came up the coast from L.A., where he caught 41 balls last year with the Chargers. His best year was 2016 when the Chargers were still in San Diego. Over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, and the Raiders really have high hopes for this 27-year-old receiver. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. The defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say, we want to do it from the inside out. Because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Carr. And that will be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. That'll go as a 39-yard punt. Give him 9 on the return. And the Lions will take over. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. The numbers a week ago for Johnson. 18 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown.
He's been a huge part of their win.
Marvin Jones, touchdown, Detroit. Marvin Jones with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown. Here we go.
Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Brissett now. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders. Brissett to throw on first.
Slant route's effective in that.
And it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And this one will be brought back to the 22. So more problems here in this first quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the head coach, I think it's time to start lighting a fire under some of these guys. Now, you have to do it within your personality. They can't perceive it as fake, but I'd go get after some guys because they don't look ready to play to me. They look flat.
From behind, and he's going to be driven down. Clelin Ferrell, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. In trouble here, down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. From his linebacker spot, Montez Perfect with a sack.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Here's Sam Martin now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. With it is Brown. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Martin. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high power, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
The bootleg, it's Brissett. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. And did he have enough? He did. He kept it online and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. Last season for Carlson, bit of a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut, picked up by the Raiders, 16 for 17 the rest of the season. I'd say at the end of the year, a pretty good success story.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. 10-3 our score after 1 here on EA Sports. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Stafford, and his throw is incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, and it's 3rd and short. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, last drive they went 3 and out.
Now a play fake here on first down. Complete to Jones. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there, 21 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 39-yard line. Johnson dancing away at the 30, and he's taken down inside the 30. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Riddick with a carry. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another 1st down with that run.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Throwing to Stafford. Flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Come on.
So the contact came before the ball got there when the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
Oh, my God.
End zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. On the carry, it's Barton, and he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Nick Barton, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And that's why you have the fullback, Charles. Couldn't get it into play before with the smaller guy. Turned to a little more power. They scored.
And now it has to warm the hearts of a lot of old-school football fans. They love when they get to see a little bit of power football.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And let's discuss Antonio Brown as he heads back out there now. With them losing here in the 2nd quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not 4 verts? One of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Brissett, catch is made by Hunter Renfrow. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he's got the 1st before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They go play action here on 1st down. Well, this is caught by Williams. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. A good pickup there at 22. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Again, it's Brissett. And finding the tight end Wilson. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And in the air once more, it's Brissett. And that is incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago.
And this will be caught at the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join, who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. We'll get 5 on the dump off there, and that'll lead to a third down. Throwing on third down, Stafford. The completion to Riddick. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this.
How's it going? Getting nice smoked over here. Gosh.
Stafford now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10.
He keeps stopping me.
From the red zone now, Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Stafford. It's complete to Jones. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones with his 2nd touchdown
we
of the
might
game,
lose against
number 8
them.
on
We
the
played them,
season.
I think,
And the Lions are
third
able to
week.
extend their lead.
Yeah,
He's having a nice little first half here,
they're pretty
partner.
solid.
And it's a first half that leaves us
been crazy.
anticipating what can still
It would've
come.
been to Super
I mean,
Bowl.
2 touchdowns
Or
already here
Super
through the
Bowl.
second quarter.
Other than winning
There
the
could be
Super Bowl,
plenty more
that'd be
before this
crazy.
game is over.
But yeah, Commanders are
Now
pretty good.
Prater to add the
I
PAT.
think Redskins is better than Commanders though. Commanders sounds
And
kind
the
of, I
lead
don't
now
know.
to 3 touchdowns at 21 points.
But Washington Redskins
That time
sounds
a
perfect.
6-play drive. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown.
And I believe when they barely started off, they had actually the Native Americans in there playing.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply
Nice,
taken
that's
a knee,
awesome.
and that's the 25-yard line.
That's really cool.
Back onto the field now comes the wideout Antonio Brown. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single
There, he
catch
got
in
it.
this game. And now this pass brought in by Brown. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Taylor Reese. Oh, no way. Dude, no fucking way. Oh, my God.
And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line.
And that's now the second time he's picked off a pass here in the first half alone. Again, another great read defensively, and you just see him get in the right position to make the play and get his guys the football back.
We remind you that coming up later tonight, we've got a good AFC battle in Baltimore. The Super Bowl champs, New England, in town to take on the Ravens. And then tomorrow, Monday Night Football, the Cowboys and the Giants from MetLife Stadium to wrap up this first weekend in November.
Oh, my gosh, dude. I can't believe this.
After the interception, here's Stanford. James has got it, complete. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Now it's Stanford. He finds Riddick, complete. Down, but not before they're inside the 25. 19 yards there on the catch and run. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. He completes it to Jones. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 5 yards on the catch there.
Yeah,
up second down.
Pretty cool. That's going to be awesome.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route.
I wish we could get the Black Friday deal. It's the Raiders.
Yeah, better against man than zone.
But they really get
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
But I guess cheating over with the Christmas days too.
And Raiders kick is on the money. It's good.
Just like the Cowboys always playing against game, just like the Lions.
Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
I feel like the NFL hates the Raiders.
We haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis
I don't think
on trying to get points on
any
the
of the
board in the
Raiders
last 2 minutes of
the
the
Raiders
half.
are getting
They'll be
them
real
covered.
excited to have those up on the board.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will it be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
To throw again on second down. Brissett. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there, 2. We've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, all right, Brandon, thank you very much. Hi again, everyone. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the NFL as we are officially into the second half of the season. We'll begin our trip around the NFL with a stop in Los Angeles. Green Bay in town to take on the Chargers. And it is the Chargers who have the lead in the second quarter. The veteran, Phillip Rivers, with a couple of touchdown passes there.
drafted Jaden Daniels.
Let's stay in the AFC West as we check on the Broncos at home in Denver. And for the moment, the visiting Browns in that one. The lone touchdown there as he's cashed one in on the ground. Finally, let's get right to the center of the U.S. map and check in on the Chiefs at home in Kansas City. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Minnesota Vikings. Tyreek Hill, a career afternoon, 4 touchdown catches. In the game you're watching, it's Matthew Stafford who's had it working in the first half. He's thrown for close to 200 yards already, and that's helped propel his guys into the lead. As we see you back.
Oh shit.
The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
But how are you doing shorts as a joke? That's classy, man. Shorts.
So here are the Lions to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford.
Oh, gosh.
That is incomplete.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made. No grounding. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll run it with Johnson. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a 1st down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all. Challenging that defense, and on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Brandon Carr there to make the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're open, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
I don't know why they keep making Madden games. Madden games should just be
throwing on 2nd and 8. Stafford.
Oh my God, he took that to me.
Oh, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. So failure to connect on 2nd down. That leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw, Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the 2nd half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play.
How many plays do you script coming out of the
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Solid gain of 18 and a Raider 1st down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver, and it's 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They'll throw again. Brissett. Wilson's got it complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
separation to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A gain of 3, second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
On 2nd and 7, and he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Maurice Hurst able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They forced a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. To try again after the sack. Stafford. Jones has it. To throw on 3rd down. Stafford. James has it. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 1st down Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle. You put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one, and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now on 2nd and 13. Stafford. And he finds Danny Amendola. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders 30.
So how do you beat man coverage? First of all, you want to be a superior receiver, but you know something, that guy who's covering it, he's usually pretty good too. So the corner route is usually a great spot to get it done.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. To throw is Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And down inside the 15 he goes. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down. Stafford now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7-7. It's 1st and 10. Here's Riddick. And he takes this one in for the Lions touchdown. Theo Riddick, his 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And we know they won't get their names in the stat sheet, but the offensive line has to get all the credit for that touchdown run. Tremendous job of blocking, paving the way for the 6 points.
Prater for the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. So that drives 7 plays in length, and it's capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run.
This is crazy.
This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
It was like the fucking 60s. Or some shit like that.
Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. That is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. On the bootleg, it's Brissett. Rolling to his left. He's going to take off with it. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Oh, yes, that was good pressure applied that time by the defensive unit. They forced him out wide to his left, but with nobody home, he decided to tuck it and go. He's able to turn it into a short gain.
And Wilson has it. And it's across midfield and inside the 45. I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. We'll take a break and get a report from Oakland after this. Here's Brissett under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Matt Longacre came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get it clear that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Tight coverage that time by Miles Killebrew. To throw, Brissett. And that is incomplete.
That's insane. That's fucking insane. Don't even watch this anymore.
Here now, Johnny Townsend, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
Oh my God, what the fuck is that? I'm going to fucking garbage.
That is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I really enjoy here. We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. It's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
It's going to be a runner. It's going to be a thrower. Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
I've scouted some dudes that will fit the team perfectly. I feel like we have a lot of short dudes.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Fire down that.
On 2nd down.
Oh my God.
It's Johnson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down. The running game continues to be a big part of their success here early in the fourth quarter.
And with those types of runs, that tells you they feel very confident in their running game. They feel very strong at this stage of the contest, and they want to keep doing exactly what we saw there, running the ball down their throat.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Now a play fake, and it's Stafford. Complete to Jones. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 18. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era. We think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Caught by Jones. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He'll find Jones again, complete. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
I'm starting all these fucking interceptions.
Set! Get a 20! 54! Mike, 54! Watch the run! Watch the run! Watch the run!
Come on.
This thrown quickly out to Jones. No gain there on the completion. It'll be 2nd down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
This is the pinche night.
Here we go! Here we go! Here we go!
Stafford going to throw it to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is what force means force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. Nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
Let's go, boys!
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Off the play fake, here's Brissett. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Jump! Check! Let's go! Right. Mike's 40! You ain't got nothing! 40's the Mike! Squeeze! He's 22, Jet, Palmer! 22, Jet, Palmer! He's got it!
Brissett now. And finding the tight end, Wilson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final final timeout. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but second, third, and fourth quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time, and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that, and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
Don't look at the numbers.
So for Detroit, that's now 5 wins on the campaign as they get the job done here. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to the Windy City to take on the Bears. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they'll fall to 5-3 with a loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.
Quarter one. Punt.
I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
But hey, Lions, Raiders, Super Bowl. I promise you. This year, or next year, 2026.